are officially 0%.
Oh my god.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yeah. The synopsis just isn't good. This former independent ranch foreman.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is my favorite part of the show.
Welcome to... Let me start that again. I keep starting like really hard.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
Welcome back.
Wait. Come in like really soft, like NPR soft. Just like whisper in their ear. And then keep all this in as well.
Okay. Welcome to What Was That Called Again? This is Thomas.
I'm Will. This is the ASMR version.
This is episode 11, turning it up to ASMR.
Ooh, this one goes to ASMR.
This is a movie game show where I select 3 movies and read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then has to try to match the plot description with the correct title. And then we also do a bonus round where Will has to try to guess the ranking of the 3 movies that I pick based on the IMDb star rating. And we actually added a new segment the last couple episodes, brand new, where I also pick a IMDb quote from one of the 3 movies, and I read the quote to Will, and then Will tries to guess which movie the quote came from. And we got some good quotes, or a good quote to go with for this episode, I think. So this will be interesting.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Very excited.
This is going to be the creepiest episode yet.
Yeah, this is terrible.
I know. All right, we'll stop this.
I did want to make a quick note that, so for one of the 3 movies that we're going to be doing in this episode, the IMDb plot description actually was one of those plot descriptions that was submitted by some guy, and they just pretty much typed out the entire plot, and so the plot description on IMDb was like 8 paragraphs long.
Here's the movie.
Exactly. So I actually cheated a little bit on this episode, and for that particular movie, I am going to be reading the synopsis that was listed on Letterboxd, not from IMDb.
You know, I remember a time whenever I only ever used IMDb to find when a movie was showing nearby, and now that has become the hardest thing to do on IMDb. So they deserve this little bit of flack, a little bit of competition, one-upsmanship from Letterboxd.
Yeah, let's be specific and call them out. So there was, at the time of recording, just recently, Godzilla -1 was playing theatrically.
Amazing.
And Will was trying to find out showtimes, and IMDb just refused to show Godzilla -1 at any of the theaters, even though it was playing there.
Yes, I had to go to my backup, which is Fandango.
Yeah.
That's my backup. And the reason I say it's my backup is because it's like on page 3 of my phone on the apps, and whereas IMDb is like strategically located right near my thumb, because I used to use it that much just to like, look up showtimes or whatever. So yeah, that was frustrating. But anyway, so we'll let I guess IMDb is on notice with this first film, or with not the first film, but with one of these films, and they need to at least hire B Sus from the early episodes, and get B Sus back in here to write a more appropriate synopsis.
I agree completely. Yeah, we definitely have enough enough reach that we can really fuck up IMDb with our listeners if we wanted to, and just completely shut them down.
We totally could. We're not going to, because we're better than that, but we totally could.
And if IMDb shut down, then we would have to like change our show because it's completely IMDb based.
Speaking of our reach, I want to get an update. As of recording, an episode has aired in which we attempted to change the synopsis of a movie. Yeah. Do we have an update on that?
Yeah. So, for anyone listening who hasn't heard, episode 5, it was at the time we're recording this. Episode 5 has just gone public. Yep.
I thought it was 4.
This is going to be episode 11. So episode 5 has just gone public, and in that episode we changed, or we created our own IMDb description.
We created a better IMDb description.
Way better. And I actually had gone into IMDb personally and added and like submitted our personalized
You walked into their offices.
Yes, and I said, you need to put this on the page. And I did submit it, and it sends a message that says it may take 1 to 10 days for your submission to be reviewed. And as of right now, I submitted it probably close to 2 weeks ago, and it is still not live. So I think that it's a lost cause. I think
maybe
IMDb has refused to list our plot description.
Yeah, so we recorded that episode a couple months ago now, and we wanted to wait until close to airtime before publish time, before we actually went in and attempted the change, just because we were worried that maybe it would get changed back, because we've had a couple episodes or a couple films now where even like a week or two after we recorded the synopsis, it was suddenly different on IMDb. So we didn't want that to happen, and then you, the listener, not get a chance to actually see it in person, I guess. So we did wait post the publishing of that episode, just to make sure that everyone had a fair chance to see it. They haven't done it yet. I will say it is the holidays, but I will also say Thomas has experimented with this before, and pretty much the same result, where it said it was going to take a certain amount of time to change, and then that's all he ever got was that. He never got any updates about it changing. He tried this on another movie, and it didn't work. So if anyone has any recommendations on how to thwart, or at least infiltrate, or or even just like, I don't know, figure out how B-Sus did it back in the day, and
email B-Sus.
Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll contact.
We need to reach out to him, the man, directly.
Like, how did you write this synopsis? Because the one that Thomas experimented with, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't submit like a joke synopsis, correct?
No, I kind of. So you have some of these IMDb plot synopsis that are on the website, where you have the one that shows up first, and then there will be a second one that's kind of just the same but with more detail or whatever. I pretty much did that same thing. I took one that was there, and I just added like some more detail to what they had written, just to see if mine would get posted.
Right, and it never did. So we're going to keep checking with the superfluous one, or that was the character in Bejeweled, Bedazzled, Bewitched. What was it called again? Beguiled.
Begotten.
Oh, there we go. Begotten. Something like that. We're gonna keep checking in, just in case like they're slow at this. Maybe IMDb has some staffing issues or some backlog to get through. Who knows? Now, also, whenever you did this, you submitted this anonymously, correct?
I did, yes.
So we didn't have like an IMDb user profile. I still think maybe we have to do that, even though they give you the option of submitting anonymously. I wonder if that's like an old element that they haven't removed yet, and that there's so many bots that just flood that now, that they would much rather see a submission from an actual typed out username, and they just haven't gotten rid of that option yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I can try it again. I'll resubmit it and leave it with my IMDb username on there.
And then the best we can do for the listener is screenshot, if it ever does change, screenshot it, and then we'll post it to our Blue Sky account. I don't know if we have anything out there yet for social media. No. You can email us and we'll send it back to you if you want proof.
Yeah. Shoot us an email at wwtcapod. What was that called again? Pod. wwtcapod at protonmail.com.
Yes.
All right. And with that out of the way, are you ready to begin?
Yes, dramatic music.
All righty. Here we go. So, your first movie that we're going to go with for today comes from the year 2007.
Ooh, okay. 2007.
And your plot description?
Probably a war film. I'm guessing it's like a... Maybe. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I just cut you off.
Your first plot description reads as follows. A documentary by two desperate young filmmakers who stumble upon the ultimate subject, a 33-year-old cannibalistic serial killer named Anthony McAllister.
Whoa. Okay. That sounds fun. Two desperate filmmakers they just stumble upon?
Who stumble upon, yes.
How do you stumble upon this guy?
Hey,
Kevin, you said his name was Kevin McAllister? Isn't that the Home Alone kid?
No.
Oh, sorry.
It was Anthony McAllister.
Oh, sorry, his brother.
Yeah.
The guy who had the tarantula. Yeah. Anthony McAllister, who's a cannibalist?
A cannibalistic serial killer.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because other cannibals don't murder. Yeah, they scavenge.
They just find.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Big difference. I don't want to disparage the cannibal community.
Yeah.
They're not all murderers. Okay.
Yeah, you're on thin ice already.
I know. IMDb and cannibalistic people are on watch. Just this episode is against them. All right. 2007. Okay. I'm ready for the next one because that one's. I can't even tell if that even rings a bell. I don't know, but it sounds interesting.
If it's you, then everyone that I read rings a bell.
I know. Speaking of episode 5 that just came out, it was hilarious to hear how many times in that one episode I said, "This sounds familiar. This sounds."
Yeah, for something that you have no idea. That's every episode though. Every time I read one, you're like, "Oh, that sounds familiar."
I got them all wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Your second movie comes from 1999.
Okay.
You remember that year?
No, wasn't around yet.
Okay.
Before my time.
Well, your
I'm only 12.
Your plot description reads as follows. In a remote military outpost in the 19th century, Captain John Boyd and his regiment embark on a rescue mission which takes a dark turn when they are ambushed by a sadistic cannibal.
Ooh, okay. I sense a theme here. I'm not going to reveal what that theme is yet, but I feel like there's a connection between these two movies. 1999, the movie takes place in the 19th century. Sir Mr. John Boyd.
Captain.
Oh, sorry. I knew there was a title there.
Yeah.
Captain John Boyd. Is this based on a true story? And where did it take place?
Nobody knows. It just says in a remote military outpost.
So we'll say Alaska. So probably Alaska. Captain John Boyd finds a tribe or a group or what was the cannibal? How many of them?
Well, he doesn't find anything.
He just hears about.
They embark on a rescue mission.
Oh, he's trying to rescue the cannibal.
Which takes a dark turn when they are ambushed by a sadistic cannibal.
So the sadistic cannibal finds them. Okay. Yep. Ambushed, too. Out in the wilderness of Alaska, probably. Maybe not. Okay. It's going to be in Alaska now, so just deal with it. 1999. He's on a rescue mission, and they're ambushed by a sadistic cannibal. Because, again, not all cannibals are sadistic either. Some of them are very well-natured, humane. They just that's just their thing. But this one is not. And this one is
sadistic.
This one's also not a serial killer. This one's just sadistic. Okay,
not according to IMDb, at least.
Okay, all right. I'm ready for the next one.
All right, your third and final plot synopsis comes from the year 2006.
Okay,
and it reads as follows. A deadly infection breaks out in Manhattan, causing humans to develop into bloodthirsty rat creatures.
Oh, wow. So they're not cannibals, though. So this breaks... I was thinking that the relationship between all these movies was cannibalism, but it sounds like the relationship is just that they're movies. Okay.
Yeah.
2006, New York City. A virus... An outbreak
deadly infection.
Sorry, it could be bacterial or fungal. We don't know. A deadly infection causes the inhabitants of New York City to become ravenous rat-like creatures.
Yeah, causing humans to develop into bloodthirsty rat creatures.
Bloodthirsty rat creatures. Okay. Wow, that's weird. That does not sound familiar at all. The Captain,
any of the three sound
familiar. Yes, the Captain John Boyd one does sound familiar. Which is why I said Alaska. I wasn't just like joking. Is it like a John Voight movie? No, I don't know. Anyway, that does sound familiar though. And that was 1999. It's not necessarily Alaska, but I just pictured Alaska. A sadistic cannibal in 1999. Okay, and in 2006 was an infection of some sort spreads amongst the citizens of New York City, and turning them into bloodthirsty rat-like creatures.
Yep.
And then the first film was 2007, in which the movie was something that I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was two desperate filmmakers.
Yep.
Stumble upon a cannibalistic serial killer.
Yes.
See, that one doesn't sound familiar either, even though it's kind of generic sounding, at least in that description. But it doesn't. I mean, clearly it's a horror film, I'm going to assume, but it doesn't sound familiar. Whereas the one in the middle really does. So I'm really curious now to hear these titles, because this truly is one where I don't really feel that I know any of these, even in the slightest. So hit me with the titles.
Okay. The first title that you're going to have to go off of today is going to be Mulberry Street.
Oh, man. Mulberry Street. So that almost sounds like what two indie filmmakers who were trying to make an indie horror film would call their film if they were fans of Elm Street.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. See where I went with that? Is you just call it Mulberry Street. See, because it doesn't feel like it would be like whatever the Army Fort or American Fortress or whatever American Frontier 19th century. That doesn't sound like that. And then I don't think there are any Mulberry Streets in New York City. So I don't know why you would call that movie, unless like the outbreak like started at Mulberry Street, but that doesn't even make sense. So I'm feeling already pretty confident that Mulberry Street is the first film from 2007, but I'll hear the other two first.
All right, your second title you have to go off of is Ravenous.
Ooh, okay. See, I said the word ravenous whenever you said the synopsis for the 2006 New York City infection, bloodthirsty rat-like creatures, but you corrected me from ravenous to bloodthirsty.
Yes. The
Ravenous.
IMDb plot description is bloodthirsty.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Who knows? And again, these are potentially all user submitted as well, except for one, which you got from Letterboxd. So that could be a weird one. Because that's also user submitted. And I'm going to assume that those users maybe are a little bit better. I don't know. I was going to say better, but maybe they're worse at describing films. That's tough. That's going to throw me, actually. But Ravenous. I did say Ravenous whenever I was trying to recap that 2006 film with the infection, New York City, bloodthirsty rat-like creatures. But I could also see the 1999 movie, early 19th century, because what else would you call that movie? Ravenous sounds like maybe it's almost like Captain John Boyd runs into some local tribes while on his excursion, and they think this sadistic cannibal is some kind of like skinwalker or some kind of like animalistic thing like that. So they just call it like it's just ravenous. Maybe that's what that is. Okay, third title, please.
Yep. All right. Your third and final title you have to go off of is Long Pigs.
Oh my God! What? there's always one title that's just like Mulberry Street almost hit that criteria for me, but then I immediately connected it with Elm Street. Would you say Long Pigs?
Correct.
What? Oh my God. Long Pigs. Is it just Long Pigs, not The Long Pigs?
Correct. Long Pigs.
Long Pigs. Is that a description of the bloodthirsty rat-like creatures that the infection turned New Yorkers into? Is that a description of just New Yorkers in general? Is that I feel like Long Pigs. Why would you? I really hope that better be like a line in the movie. Like that's one of that's I can't remember the character's name right now, or even the actor's name. I'm blanking so much, and I can't stand it. But I can see his face, and everyone's gonna be screaming it. Who was the character from Tremors that had all the guns? Yeah, everyone in their car right now is screaming this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that character in New York City who's like a for some reason this guy lives in New York City, but he's like a survivalist type person, and he's just ready for like the apocalypse. And there's a scene that like he's describing the horrors and atrocities that he's seen in the underbelly of the metropolis, and right as it gets almost like the scene, you know, Blackest Eyes, dolls, and like that scene. It's the same exact scene, but it's in this guy's basement, and he's like, "They look like long pigs," and like that's where we get the title from, right? So having said that, okay. So just to recap, we have Mulberry Street, we have Ravenous,
Yep.
and we have, for some fucking reason, Long Pigs.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like if I don't hit a home
Play
run,
ball.
I know. I feel like if I don't hit a home run with this, I'm gonna flip the desk. So I feel like it is the 2007 two desperate filmmakers stumble upon a cannibalistic serial killer in the movie titled Mulberry Street, and then the 1999 movie in the early 19th century, Captain John Boyd is on an excursion. I think you said, I said in Alaska, and they are ambushed by a sadistic cannibal, is called Ravenous, and that leaves the 2006 movie in New York City, where an infection of some sort turns the inhabitants into bloodthirsty, rat-like creatures as long pigs. Because I can see the scene with the guy from Tremors, and I can't remember his name right now, and I know everyone's screaming it. I'm sorry, folks, but this is Will's disease. him and Reba McEntire. I don't know why I remember her name, but she's in the movie, and it gets on close to his face, and he's just like, yeah, they're like long pigs. Like, that's in the movie. That has to be in the movie. If I didn't slam dunk this, then I'm going to go make that movie right now. So let me know, please.
All right, I'll put you out of your misery. You have, out of 3, you have 1 out of 3.
My fucking God. Okay. God damn it.
Your favorite.
I feel like it has to be Ravenous. Just because that, what does it? But I said Ravenous whenever I said the bloodthirsty rat-like creatures. But why would long pigs? Okay, so let me just analyze the cannibal part of it. So maybe the infection does make them ravenous, and maybe this is one that either the movie didn't elicit from the writer of the synopsis much information, so they just wrote what they wrote, and they didn't want to like put the title in the synopsis, or this is the one from Letterboxd because the person in IMDb did put the title in there, And either way, they skipped over the title Ravenous. But then that means if I switch that one, that means that Long Pigs is the 19th century Captain John Boyd excursion, and they're hunted by wait does the ambusher, the sadistic cannibal, does he call his prey long pigs? Are we long pigs? That would be kind of cool. I would kind of be back on board with long pigs if that were the case. That'd be kind of sick, though. Yeah, he's out there in them woods. I heard him one time. He calls us long pigs. But it's the same shot from Tremors, though. Same guy, same shot from Tremors, like close on his face. It's just that. But we're just flipping the script now to where he's not describing them. He's describing what you get the idea. Any notes? Okay. Because I'm pretty confident in Mulberry Street being not New York and not early 19th century ambushed excursion trip. That just doesn't fit either of those things. If someone called a New York city-based movie Mulberry Street, I'm personally writing to IMDb and telling them that they need to change that. So I'm going to lock in Mulberry Street was the two desperate filmmakers stumble upon the cannibalistic serial killer as Mulberry Street. I'm now going to flip. Okay. I'm going to flip, and I'm going to call the 1989 19th century Captain John Boyd on an excursion ambushed by a sadistic cannibal as for whatever reason, long pigs. And then, like I mentioned, I initially stumbled upon the 2006 New York City infection, bloodthirsty, aka ravenous, rat-like creatures. I'm going to call that movie Ravenous. How'd I do?
That officially puts you at 0 out of 3.
Fuck this whole show. This is Christmas, goddammit. This is Christmas Eve. I deserve something. Why did they call a movie based in New York City Mulberry Street?
That is correct. So you have to write to IMDb because that one is called Mulberry Street.
I will literally get out my typewriter and with a wax stamp send this off to Mr. IMDb. So stupid. Okay, fine. I'm sure you're going to explain it and it's going to make sense. So explain all three of these for me, please.
Well, I will say that I can't explain it because I've never seen that movie, but I really want to see that movie.
Why would they call it Mulberry Street?
It is directed by Mr. Jim Mickle, who may not sound familiar.
Is this the Mulberry Street one that you're talking about?
Correct. Yes. Okay. Mulberry Street is directed by this guy Jim Mickle, who
Jim, we need to talk.
Afterwards, direct the movies Stakeland, Cold in July, and We Are What We Are, with Michael Parks.
Pickle was his last name.
Mickle.
Sorry,
spelled like pickle but with an M.
Okay.
Ravenous from 1999. It's directed by Antonia Bird. And it is directed by a woman. It passed away in 2013. Sadly, I actually have never seen this movie either. I really want to, because it is it's like a western, like a snowy western. I'm very into those. And
it's Alaska. Just say it's Alaska.
I don't know where it's set. And it's also written by the Ted Griffin, who would later, a few years later, write the script for Ocean's 11.
Okay.
And I do want to say real quick, Mulberry Street is currently streaming on Arrow streaming service, Arrow Player, whatever it's called. Ravenous is currently, it is not in the Criterion Collection, but is streaming on Criterion Channel as of recording. And the final film, Long Pigs, from 2007. I don't really have much information about that movie. I think this was like the only movie that these guys have done. This is the only one of these three movies that I have seen. and at the time of recording, you cannot find it anywhere. It is the only place you can watch it. It is currently on YouTube. Like the whole thing is uploaded on YouTube.
Oh, right.
Yep. And long pigs, by the way, is like the cannibal term for like the human body. So you were correct on that. You're just on the wrong movie.
So I had the right logic there, just the wrong film. Figures.
Yeah. And so if you could, let's see what you think as far as the IMDb star ratings on these things.
Okay. So this is just figuring out which order they come in based on the 3. And this is the audience score of all 3. Oh, I just have a feeling these are all like low. I can't imagine that any of these are over like 6 or maybe like 6.5. Ravenous has to be the top. And I kind of feel like I've seen that. Wait, can you just recap for me real quick? Do you know who was in Ravenous?
Yes, I apologize. I did mean to say that. Yes. Ravenous has quite a cast. It has Guy Pearce, who was in like everything around that era, I think.
By law,
it has Robert Carlyle, David Arquette, Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, it has a pretty good cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like that one is number 1, but still like I said, maybe like 6.5, 6.5, something like that. Mid 6. Mulberry Street. I just don't feel like and you also haven't told me, and don't tell me because I kind of want to guess now, at least for some bonus point. But I want to know. I want to guess which one of these is the one you had to get from Letterboxd.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like Mulberry Street is not. The title isn't great, and it also seems, at least from that synopsis, it seems kind of like your generic infection movie. So I can't imagine many people have seen it, and I also don't know if it's going to be that great because of that. So I feel like Mulberry Street has to be... Oh, that's tough because Long Pigs... Okay, Mulberry Street has to be last. I would say Long Pigs is only in second because it has a slightly more intriguing title. So it's going to go Ravenous, Long Pigs, Mulberry Street. Nothing higher than a mid 6.
All right. You are correct on your order.
Yes.
Episode
salvaged.
Ravenous on IMDb at the time of recording has a 6.9.
Oh, okay.
Long Pigs, which has under 1,000 ratings, has a 5.8.
Okay.
And Mulberry Street currently sits at a 5.5.
Wow. Okay. So, which one of these now is the Letterboxd?
The Letterboxd, yeah. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
I mean, I could see someone just typing word for word everything from Ravenous. But I could also see that happening to Long Pigs because so few people have seen it. And, well, but maybe fewer people have seen Mulberry Street. But the reason I was leaning towards Long Pigs is because I felt like maybe the author thought that if they really sold the film through their description, that more people would watch it. So
I will answer your contemplation. Long Pigs does have the fewest like user ratings or like scores out of all 3 of these by far.
And the fact that it's second means that there might be some almost like a hidden gem type status. So I feel like the person who wrote this, who wrote the one that you couldn't use, did so because they were either A, just really bad at describing movies, or B, which is what I'm going to go with, in that they just thought that if they really like hard sold the movie, that people would want to watch it because they actually enjoyed it. So I'm going to go with Long Pigs was the one that you had to take from Letterboxd.
Well, there you go. You are correct.
Oh, yes. Yes, yeah. I am redeemed.
if you say so.
No, I just need something. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so I did pull a quote.
Oh, that's right. I
do have a quote.
Oh, I'm really excited about this now. Okay.
Which did come from one of these three movies.
Okay.
And if you're ready, the quote that I have for you is, quote.
Wait. As always, as is tradition now, you have to, regardless of if you have seen this or not, which I don't know, you have to give this in a character.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hold on. Let me take a drink before I spit it all over my computer. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
I'm ready. I think so.
All right.
It's lonely being a cannibal. Tough making friends.
Oh, that was the whole thing? I was so in for more.
No, that was
I thought it was going to be a huge monologue. That was awesome. I was so desperately hoping that you were going to like get to like, I call them long pigs. It's in the next scene.
It could be the next line. That was just all that was there.
It has to be long pigs. It has to be.
It's lonely being a cannibal. Tough making friends.
Because the filmmaker stumbled upon this guy. So it has to be long pigs.
It is a quote delivered by a character named Hart from Ravenous.
Oh my God. Fuck you, John Boyd. Okay, fine. I'll accept it.
So that Ravenous was actually the only one of these three that had a quote section on IMDb.
Oh, we need to. Okay, that's the next thing we need to do is we need to get some quotes from long pigs on this.
It's on YouTube. We could easily pull any quote from that movie.
Oh, that's what we should do. We should just do. We should because I mean, let's hope that the verification process for the quote and the trivia isn't as exacting as the moderation for the synopsis, right? So not only do we have to pull quotes from Long Pigs, but we also should just make up trivia about the movie.
I'm down.
Okay, good. Okay, that's going to be the goal. That's going to be our new begotten. Every 6 episodes, we'll do something with IMDb. Okay, so I still want to bet good money that Ravenous takes place in Alaska. I think anytime you say 19th century, did you say late 19th century?
It just says in the 19th century.
In the 19th century. So I'm going to guess that's like frontier Alaska before it was a state. The territory or whatever it was. And there's some kind of expedition up there. And like you said, snowy, cannibalism in the snow. It's got to be Alaska, right? Captain John Boyd. Is that based on a true story? You didn't say that, right? I said that.
I didn't say that, and I don't believe it is. I don't know for sure, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well.
By the way.
Yes.
It is a remote outpost of Fort Spencer, located on the western side of the Sierra Nevadas.
Oh, okay. So we're like Oregon, California. All right. Boo.
You're so deadlocked.
They should have taken it. It would have been a better movie if it was in Alaska. Trust me. Out there where no one is, and out there where like a guy just survives eating people, hunting those long pigs. If you know what I'm saying. To use the vernacular of the people. Okay. Yeah. All right. So those are 3 good. I kind of want to see Long Pigs now. And you said it was on YouTube. I might actually do that tonight as a.
It's not long either. It's like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. It's not long.
As of this recording, is it Christmas appropriate?
Sure. I honestly don't. I have seen it once. It was probably, I would guess 12, 13 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't remember much of it.
Can you give me a quote from it, just off the top of your head?
Yeah, I'll eat it.
What scene was that? And is it the same guy from Ravenous? Is it just the same universe?
It could be. I think it should be.
Because he sounds exactly the same as the guy.
Yeah, it's the same voice.
Every cannibal is just, yeah. It just, you don't know how human flesh just kind of rips at the vocal cords. It's all the hair.
I love the pause where you were waiting for.
It's a great quote. I love that part of the movie.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
That I haven't seen. Yeah, I'll eat it. It's just, I like the idea that this cannibal is just, he's just not picky. And he just, that's all it is. He's just not picky. He's like, yeah, I'll eat it. You put it in front of me, I'll eat it. That's what happened to my cousin. That's how I got started down this path. That always reminds me of I think it was like a scary stories to tell in the dark tale, maybe. I can't remember now. But do you remember some like short story that was about this individual who burned their finger on a flame or a torch or a campfire, I think it was, and they went and like sucked on it to like cool it off, and it tasted good. So they ate it, and then they put their hand back in, even though it was painful, and they like put it back in their mouth and they ate it, and they ended up doing that to their whole body. Wasn't that like a scary story to tell in the dark type story?
Wasn't that the movie Raw?
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah, the whole movie Raw is just a chick in a campfire in France
for 100 minutes.
Yeah. Raw's a good movie though. Okay, so we need to develop more of the Long Boy universe. And
Long Boy?
Long Boy! I just realized I said that. Long Boy. That's the name of the movie. So it was, the first film is Long Pigs.
The Long Boy universe.
It's a prequel. Long Pigs is a prequel to Long Boy. Or in other words, Long Boy is a sequel. So Long Boy, we're keeping it. We're going with it. Long Boy. That's also the episode title. I can already tell. Long Boy. That's like whenever your dog stretches, you're like, "Oh, who's a long boy?" Okay, so the long universe is what it's called. It's just the Long Universe, and the first film is Long Pigs, second film is Long Boy, and it's the same cannibal from Ravenous, the 1900s guy who somehow made it this far in life. Maybe it's like maybe being a cannibal, all the atrocities associated with it. One of the benefits is that it's
you harness the life.
Yeah, well,
like however long they were going to live after.
I wasn't going to
go what you gain in years.
I wasn't going to say like anything supernatural. I think that's a cool idea, but I was just going to say just like like it just prolongs your own life. But no, I like the idea of like somehow it's like a vampiric thing where.
If you didn't eat them, how long they were going to live after that moment is how many years.
Yeah, but that's a cool idea. So, like, wait, hold on a second. You're onto something here.
I know.
Oh, I know you know. I just want to. I want to flesh out your idea that you already knew about. So the reason the movie is called Long Boy is because it's about duration, not size, right?
Yeah.
I'm saving this. So it's called Long Boy because you're right. Like the cannibal. So, but the cannibal gets the I don't want to say longevity necessarily, but I guess so. The life duration of his victim, correct? But here's the thing though, is that there's no way to know how long your victim was going to live. Only like fate knows that, right? So you could eat someone who looks young and healthy, but not know that they were like a skydiver and that they might have died at the age of 30, right? And if you, as the self-titled long boy, are like, 32 already, and you mistakenly eat someone in their 20s who is only going to live to 33, now suddenly you only have 1 year left. So you instantly feel like time, like you're right on the end. So you got to go eat someone else.
Interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying like, I see what you're saying. What I was saying was, so you have this guy that's 20 that's going to live to 33. If you eat that guy, then you gain those 13 years
no.
they would have lived.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Exactly. I'm saying that because
like
you don't
where
know
you are currently, like the extra that they were going to live is what you gain.
Is all you gain. That's all you get. So you got to keep eating people in hopes that you eat someone who was going to live as a long boy
to like 100.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or at least older than what you are now. So that just means that, like, if you are 90 as the cannibal, right, you could be in poor health. But if you eat someone who was going to somehow live because of modern medicine at the time to be like 110 or 120, you've now gained, those extra 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's...
Is this one also going to be shot documentary style, like Long Pigs?
I think it has to be, right? Almost like, what was the movie? What was that called again? The movie, isn't it like you showed me this movie where it's like a
Man Bites Dog.
Yes, Man Bites Dog. Where so it seems very real. It's shot that way, where it seems like it's almost this is like not snuff, but like this is a legit actual documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
and
this.
that's how Long Pigs is as well, by the way.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yes, I will agree that it's shot like that. And then okay, so here's the other question though. How do we is the filmmaker involved in any way? As far as what I'm saying is like throughout this documentary process, as our cannibal and the filmmaker get to know each other more and more, does the cannibal start to assume that the filmmaker might have a pretty healthy and long genetic disposition as far as age goes? And then so now it's like, I don't want to say necessarily that the filmmaker gets eaten, because then it'd be like a found footage film. That could be a possibility, but I could very well see like their relationship becoming strained whenever, during the process of making this documentary, the filmmaker realizes that his subject has now started to look at him a little differently. Mm-hmm. And also, at what
or does the documentary filmmaker take part in the cannibalism? Like, does he sort of buy in? Like, does maybe the cannibal like sell the idea of the longevity to the documentary filmmaker, and then the documentary filmmaker takes part, and then the cannibal starts to look at the documentary guy as like, that might have been like, you might have added on another like 30 years or something. Like maybe I.
So what you're saying is that this isn't a unique ability of the cannibal. This is just a trait of cannibalism.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
The cannibal like sells it's a unique trait of cannibalism.
So the filmmaker doesn't believe it at first, of course, right? And then maybe does the filmmaker think that like this guy is just unique? Not necessarily. Again, I don't want to like flirt. I don't want to go down the path of like supernatural, but maybe the filmmaker thinks that like there's something else going on with this guy, and that cannibalism is just something that he does. But then, like you said, the cannibal then convinces or sells actively this concept and the filmmaker buys into it. Okay, I like that idea. Now I'm going to raise it a step further. Is this transferable from one cannibal to another? So, if I eat someone who gave me 30 more years, and a cannibal eats me, does that cannibal get my 30 years?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like whenever the documentary filmmaker eats this person, and then the cannibal starts to look at them like I might be able to gain those 30 years or whatever it is. That's what I was kind of thinking as well.
So is this just a way? Does the cannibal find a way? What was the term? Sorry, I'm like on 1,000 tangents right now. But there was a term. Someone in like the king's court used to like sample the food to see if it was poisoned, and if that person didn't die, then the king ate.
Oh yeah.
So has the cannibal figured out a way to be like, you go ahead and eat them? The cannibal finds out that like, this gave that person a lot of life, so then I will then eat this person, or this person didn't get a lot of life. I'm going to let this person die and go find someone else. That's interesting. I like this a lot. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it is transferable. I think at the end of the documentary, the filmmaker kind of buys into this. Long Boy. It's called Long Boy. Yeah. Why not? Mulberry Street for New York City. Why not? So it's called Long Boy because the documentary, the subject of the documentary, the cannibal, gets to the point, like you said, towards the end, where he realizes that he's found someone to basically test, these people. But also the filmmaker did this almost as I don't necessarily think the filmmaker bought into it before eating. I think the filmmaker was just like, I'll do it purely for the film. Like, this is totally wrong. This is totally against everything that I believe in. This is, not just illegal, but immoral, whatever. But this guy is, pulled me in, and I'm just trying to get the best documentary made. I'll try it. Yep. And then he tries it, and then like he wakes up the next day and he just feels like so much better. The filmmaker feels like rejuvenated. Maybe there's even like a scene where like he just left like a doctor's appointment, and the doctor's like, the arthritis in your knee is gone. Like, we don't know like what happened, but it's great that it's gone. Whatever it is, right? Like some kind of thing is gone. Because we need more proof than just he feels good, right?
Yeah.
So then the filmmaker is like, holy fucking shit! Like, there's something to this. And maybe there's like a scene like the filmmaker is kind of like turning the camera on himself, alone, and he's like, I don't know if it's just like placebo or what, but like I feel like amazing or whatever. And then the cannibal, his subject, like somehow figures out that like, oh shit, he had somebody, he consumed something or somebody that was going to live a long, long, long life. I now need to transfer that over to my account, and then that's the end. That's interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Long Boy. It's called Long Boy. It works because that's what I meant for it to happen. So there you go. So look for Long Boy. It's part of the Long Pig universe. And
LPCU.
The Snyder cut of the LPCU is coming out soon. Demand that on Twitter, please. Okay,
demand it in our email account at wwdcapod@protonmail.com.
That's right. Yes. We should try to get on some kind of social media site, but there's just none left. They're all just hellscapes.
Yes.
Long Boy. I like Long Boy a lot. TM on Long Boy.
Yes.
we might write Long Boy in a week. Okay. Well, that was awesome. Okay, so just for my own sake, Long Boy is on YouTube, and then you said Mulberry Street was on the Arrow Video streaming, whatever it was called, and then Ravenous was where? It's
on, as of recording, it is on the Criterion channel.
Criterion. Okay, so there's many avenues to watch. There's ways to watch these films. And I think that's something people need to do. Get those long pig numbers up on IMDb, and then look for Long Boy coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah, really. Go watch Long Pigs on YouTube. It's seriously like an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. It's not long.
Nice. All right. What was that called again? The Long Boy universe